Hey guys, I don't know if you can hear me that well. I'm here at a Steubenville conference in Wisconsin, and I'm about to go down and speak about the Christian journey. And I'm really looking forward to it. And one of the things I've been meditating upon today is Matthew 17, the Transfiguration. Because I think there's a lot of parallels between an experience at a conference like this and then going back to your home. So just a couple of thoughts that I had. First we see that Jesus leads Peter, James, and John up a mountain. Side note, I used to live in Ireland, and I would go to an Irish-speaking church, which was entirely in Gaelic, and I remember them reading this gospel, and instead of them saying Peter, James, and John, they said Pada, Seamus, and Sean, and that gives you a totally different impression. You think of three, fair-skinned fellas with red hair. Anyway, while they're up there, God's glory is revealed, right? Christ is revealed to them. Now, this is a miracle, but in a sense, the miracle is the fact that Christ didn't walk around like this all the time. His face dazzling like the sun. This is the second person of the Blessed Trinity, after all. And they see Moses and Elijah before them. Both Moses and Elijah received theophanies on different mountains, or maybe they were at the same mountain, I'm not sure, but you have Moses, who wants to see God, but God says, you'll only see the back of me. And you have Elijah on the mountain, waiting for God, and finds him in the whispering wind, which is really interesting. But now, something that stuck out to me, I don't know if this is true, like a good interpretation or not, but Peter says to Jesus, it's wonderful for us to be here, which is exactly what you feel like on a conference like this. Like, I don't ever want to go. This is great. Let's build 3 tents. Screw the rest of them. Like, let's live like this forever. But it's, I don't know if this is true, but it seems like Peter is putting Jesus, Elijah, and Moses in the same camp, right? As if they're the same kind of person. Trying to figure out who this Jesus is still. And he says, it's great for us to be here. I'll build 3 tents for you guys, And in a sense, it seems like God's words to Peter are a rebuke. That is to say, no, this is and it's the first thing that happens, right? My beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. As if to say, this isn't a prophet. And this isn't a giver of the law, right? This is something entirely different here. And they do what they ought to do in the presence of God. They fall to their face, and when they kind of look up, they have Christ looking at them. But first, of course, what does God say? This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well... No, I don't know if he says well pleased, does he? This is my beloved Son. Listen to him. Sometimes we have mountaintop experiences, and the temptation is to think that Christ is like the emotion we experienced or the high that we generated. And we should never mistake Christ for the emotional high. If we do that, when we go to prayer, we start seeking the emotional high and not Christ himself, And what's powerful about this is 2 things. They have to go back down the mountain. They have to go back to ordinary life, the mundaneness of it all. And Christ walks with them. And he journeys with you and he journeys with me down the mountain. But what's powerful is you'll notice that as they're going down the mountain, the disciples are asking questions, right? Listen to this. First of all, Christ says don't say anything until the Son of Man should have risen. Now, Son of Man is a reference to Daniel 7. And the earliest 1st century Jewish interpreters of Daniel 7 said that this Son of Man figure in Daniel 7 represents the Messiah. So this isn't him claiming his humanness or appealing to his humanity, but to his divinity. But they ask him questions. They kept the matter to themselves, questioning what the rising from the dead meant, and they asked him, why do the scribes say that the first Elijah must come? This is powerful, because sometimes we have powerful experiences and we think that all the questioning must be over, and that questions are a sign of doubt and that they're not a good thing. But this would seem to prove the opposite. They're questioning in themselves. They're not even really asking Christ directly what the rising from the dead might mean. And then they even seem to question his messianicness, his messiahship, his Christness. Sorry, I don't know the word. But that's a powerful thing. Like, well, why do the scribes say that Elijah must come first? In other words, all right, okay, so you're the Son of Man, okay? But like, it says that Elijah has to come first. So what about that? And Christ explains to them that Elijah has come. It was John the Baptist. But it's so important that we continue to ask questions and that we remember, who was it? John Henry Newman said something to the effect of 1,000 questions don't make a doubt. So we want to follow Christ, be faithful to Him, worship Him, wait for the prompting of the Holy Spirit in our life throughout the day as He comes to move us, and at the same time to question, because our minds are finite, but that doesn't mean we can't know things and we can't know more things. So we follow Him down the mountain into the mundane, and we ask questions, and we still have Him as Lord over our life, and as Master of our life. And we as disciples not only worship but follow Him. It's not enough to worship and not follow, and it's not enough to follow and not worship. We need both. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be talking about. Hope that was a help. We'd love your thoughts if you have any further insight. It's a powerful passage. God bless you.